I'm Alan from watchjunky.co.uk. I'm here to meet the directors of TRIBUS today, find out a little bit more about the watches and what we've got to come this year.
How you doing, Alan? You alright?
Yeah, not bad. Good to see you again. Yeah, great. So you got your TRIBUS on?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, well, the great hope for the company is probably sitting next to me, to be honest, but...
It's a pleasure to be working with me, isn't it? Absolute honour, he said. We won't say that on camera, but absolute honour.
Yeah, no, the boys have taken up the mantle and doing well, really. I'm here for the ride that they're taking me on, I think, more than anything, but... you know, they're doing a great job at CW, but we just wanted to do something a little bit different, and you know, I'm here to help really, but it's the three boys now that are going to be pushing the brand on, you know, that's for sure. There's a buzz about the city, you know, I'm a Liverpool lad, sons have grown up in Liverpool, so you know, I've spent my life travelling around the UK in different places, but it's actually good to be back now, and working with the three lads is a good laugh as well.
Who's had the most successful outcomes and arguments?
We'll have to keep a tally on the wall, I think. It tally up quite quick every day because there's a few arguments every day.
Yeah.
More discussions, we'll call them.
We actually, within the company, we encourage conflict. It was a conscious decision because we believe that out of conflict you get argument, and out of argument you get better decision making. And we didn't want to just follow the same path, and you know, you're all towing together, that's great, but you know, if you haven't had all the arguments off-piste, you know, then
you end up getting the best idea at the end of it.
Yeah.
The more arguments or discussions or debates you have around any project, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, some of the people in the office, when they do hear us arguing, you know, they get a little bit worried.
Shut the door sometimes.
That's right.
Table slam.
Yeah, no, all that's going on in the business, but whilst it sounds unhealthy, we think it's healthy, and we sort of like that sort of the fact that out of something quite dysfunctional and a little bit all over the place to start with, you go along a journey, and at the end of it you come out with a beautiful product.
Dysfunction to function.
Dysfunction to function, yeah.
Me and my two brothers as a family, we've been in and around the watch industry for, you know, 15, 16 years from a very young age. We wanted to start something that was very different to your regular, wouldn't say run-of-the-mill watch brands, but they're very similar to the Swiss watch industry, and we wanted to just stand out day one, be ourselves, and I suppose with the design of the watches, a lot of it's heavily influenced through my dad, because he's obviously been in the industry for so long. We'll try and put our youthful spin on it and bring as much youthfulness out of the old man as we can, I suppose.
I think the vibrancy, I mean, if you're talking, take our Trial 1 for example, nice range of 5 colours, there's a little bit of classic in there, but then there are 3 colours that are completely off the wall.
I mean, the original handwriting we had across the range as a brand was sort of retro temporary, and then we had a few discussions internally, and we sort of said, well, let's go modern retro. So we mix, you know, something really vibrant and new with something that's obviously worked for years in the Swiss watch industry.
Yeah, no, I saw that straight away. It was sort of pleasing in a way that, you know, it's nice to know that perhaps
great minds think alike.
Great minds think alike, but to be honest, I was thinking, what the bloody hell are they doing copying us? I was thinking,
look ahead of the curve.
yeah, I was going to sue them.
Very nice.
I was going to sue them, but then, yeah, and I thought probably best not to sue Rolex on your first year.
Year 3, we'll go down that route.
Yeah. No, but no, it's encouraging, isn't it? It's nice to see that some of the industry thinks the same way as we do. You know, James always saying what, Swiss watch industry, a lot of people are always looking backwards, and they're sort of going on their heritage, and they make a big play on that, and fair play to them, because some of these brands been around a number of years, but we decided we're not going to go down that route. We just want to look forward all the time and just try new things, push boundaries.
It's more important to us just to concentrate on making a really good product at the end of the day.
Yeah, make really good products and be unapologetic about it.
Everything that we do is just born out of enthusiasm and excitement, and we genuinely love doing what we do, and the way we do it and the style we do it. So to have to tone that down and not get your own spin on your own brand, it just seems pointless to me.
Yeah, the lovers or your haters, which is like one of our social media posts that we put out that caused a bit of controversy when we first started.
Let me have a little look, actually. I forget what we do. We do that much work.
No, the early stuff when we were waiting, everyone was waiting for the shop to open. I remember it well. I mean, I remember the first post we put out was just
the logo,
and then we went with a bloody fist.
Yeah.
And yeah, everyone remembers the bloody fist.
I think we wanted to do that as a sort of a shock factor, to be a bit like, from day one, we're here, this is how we're going to approach it. Yeah. Bold, unapologetic, grab your attention. If you liked it or you didn't like it, you're talking about it.
Yeah, from my perspective, and this was a personal perspective, I wanted to make sure that if you thought I was moving on from CW and it was going to be more of the same, then think again, because it's not. The name Tribus, it was a little bit tribal.
Blood Brothers came into it.
Polish Red, 303.
With the war.
Yeah.
Paint with my dog's size, some people could see it as that. Yeah. So it was an all-encompassing post, that one.
We did a few stuff like, I remember one that little bit of controversy was around, it was COVID times, and we put a lovely Swiss girl out with a Swiss mask. And we thought, you can't do that, it's COVID. And we said, COVID's a real thing, so yes we can. So we did.
I remember that.
That's right. And then we got slated because, they just ripped off the actual NHS photograph and changed it. But actually, misinformed, because actually it's a Getty image that the NHS had bought and we'd bought, and we just gave it our different spins. So that was that one. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Got that up here.
Yeah. So the red apple,
subliminal. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
So that was
sort of,
yeah. So the three suns, and obviously,
and we did it in the Swiss flag and wanted it sort of dripping down.
And it was a good piece of art.
Yeah, good piece of art, good image.
That's right. But the clue at the time was the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Was really a nod to the three boys who were running this business, not me. I think at that time, and then I think the people that was early into the Tribus enthusiast group, they weren't quite getting it, and we knew that they wouldn't quite get it. Some of them had to start getting a little bit frustrated and agitated, so we put the love-hate picture out. And the love-hate was, there's a fine line between love and hate. And it was nice timing actually, wasn't it? Because my dog size did that. And that was really a pushback at the people in your group at the time that were trying to tell us the way it should be done. And we're like,
push back at the whole industry in a way.
Sort of, yeah. It's just a little bit different.
Yeah, I can remember the negativity and all the debates was like, well, we need to see the watches.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's right. Yeah. And what else we were doing, giving you clues to what might be coming down there. So there was art, there was culture, there was football, there was, chronometers. We even put out a post that was Socrates statue dead in a park, because he was given a clue to Lugano, where we were going to make our watches, because that's where that statue is. But also Socrates had a saying, one of his quotes, and it happened to be one of our early taglines. So there was a tie-in there, but nobody picked up on that.
Too clever for everyone, you see. Too clever for
ourselves.
that password, by the way?
Tribus 1.
You're kidding.
I can't even remember what it was. I can't even remember. I had so much other stuff in our head, I forgot that.
I know what it was, but it's the same as my bank account, so.
I will remember now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit like when you open a new nightclub, isn't it? You know, you just leave them all waiting outside and say, sorry, we're full, but there's nobody in there except the barmaid and the security guy. It was good actually, because it created a little bit of a buzz, and obviously got people talking. And
But back to the logo, we always had that logo.
yeah, the logo.
I mean, we worked for ages on a logo and what works, and you know, lots of things coming out of everyone's heads and things going in the bin and scrapped again. And we got it to a place that we were really happy with. It sits nice on the dials, on the crown. It stands for us as a three
sons
starting it, and so does the name,
Yeah,
Tribus.
And it's almost a bit culty and tribal as well was in there.
Was all in our head.
But as yeah, I mean, we don't play on the sort of the root of the word, which is
Latin for family,
family,
and
three, and it comes from the three sort of Roman tribes, and it was about their ambition and then that where it took the Roman Empire. So it sort of said, yeah, this is the name, this is the logo, this is the brand for us. So we decided to run with it. I mean, it's early days in our journey, and you know, the customer feedback that we've had so far from people that have got their watches, it's pleasing at the moment. You know, we're not disappointed at all. So long may that continue, Alan. I mean, Johnny spent most of his working career either behind a camera, like he is there. Say hello, Johnny.
Hello.
Yeah. Or in customer services to a high level. So I mean that's well, whilst the customer service side I know is going to be absolutely brilliant. The mix of skills that the three lads have got, they all complement each other.
we wanted to be a real people brand, you know, not another faceless brand. You know, if you've got an issue or you've got a question or a query or anything, you know, we want to be on hand to support them and help them, and as much as we can. Why wouldn't you? It's simple, it's easy.
Yeah, they're spending good money with you, you know.
Yeah.
Well, it was really nice just to see people giving that feedback on the forum.
Yeah. I think whatever business you're in now, Alan, I think you've got to offer great customer service. You know, money's hard earned, isn't it? And whilst our watches, you know, chronometer standard, are great value, you know, it's still a wedge out of everybody's monthly salary to go out and buy a watch. You know, it's not something you buy on a whim either. Normally, you know, people will do the research. You know yourself with your forum.
Yeah.
So when they've made that pledge to the brand and they've engaged with the brand, it's only right that you give it back, right the way down the line throughout the life of the watch, even beyond maybe the life of the owner, because it could well be passed down to somebody else, and you know, you got to make sure you're there for them when they were there for you. That was great. I mean, that started off, we've always been interested in art as a family, and Johnny and Jake, the young one, particularly good artists themselves.
And street art.
Yeah, and obviously I've always been into street art.
Yeah.
And we got the opportunity to work with somebody that works with other very famous graffiti artists that we can't mention the name of. And My Dog Size is a lad who's down in Southend, does a lot for sort of homeless people and sort of fights the plight for that sort of thing. So he was giving back to the community, and we sort of liked that. We got involved with My Dog Size, and he did the 50-piece limited edition.
He quite matched us as a brand, didn't he? His sort of values, and that he'd just sort of rebel and he'd be bold, and he wanted to do things in his own style and not just stick to, you know, whatever society says you had to do. We loved that about him from day one, and thought, you can compliment our brand, we can compliment you.
Yeah, we were going to go a little bit further, but we decided, well, I won't tell you too much about that because we'll do that on the second project. But
I'm hoping it's that big canvas that I'd seen in the watch.
maybe something like that,
I'm seeing too much, Alan.
You've been climbing through our window.
You shouldn't have let him in.
303 is something completely different again. So 303, there's a really good bloke out there called Scott Booth who set up the Laguna Spitfire legacy. Scott's restoring this Battle of Britain stroke, World War II Spitfire, and it's actually a Mark II Spitfire. And if he does get to restoring it, which we know he will, he'll be one of the only Mark II Spitfires that are actually still flying in the world today. So we thought we needed to do that. But once we got into it, there was all this story about, the Poles' plight. I mean, we've gone out on video and said why we did it, but I didn't know that the Poles were denied, the victory march when World War II ended. But yet it was the Poles in the Battle of Britain, and particularly 303 Squadron, that helped turn it around and keep Hitler at bay. And when you start hearing about this story, and we've had customers of ours come on who've got Polish connections and some of the atrocities, and we thought, we need to get this story out. And we also got involved along the journey with the Polish Heritage Flight, who fly in 303 livery, Spitfire and a Hurricane, and we'll be taking that to Poland hopefully this year, with the view to, we've got the backing of the Prime Minister of Poland to try and get the Hurricane and the Spitfire flying down over the palace in Warsaw. And hopefully the pilot will be wearing the TRIBUS watch. I think that's what it's about. We just like to get involved in things we like to get involved with. So, whether that's sport or a little bit of history or art or culture and music. We're filming tomorrow with a musician. You asked me, my first question was that, how am I finding it outside of CW? I'm absolutely loving it.